Now, as an anime fan, there are 3 levels of being down bad. The first level is watching ecchi anime like Redo of a Healer and Inukai's Dog. Then you got the second level, which includes watching some, well, adult anime, like Overflow, also known as the greatest anime of all time. But after you successfully cross that level, you finally have the third and final level in front of you. This is the world of adult manga. And no matter how much you read this, you can never finish this level because this crap is a hole deeper than the freaking list of filler episodes in Boruto. And I am scared of entering that hole. Because even though it's almost identical to level 2 sometimes, some crap shows up which is straight up disgusting. And the manga I'm going to be talking about today falls exactly in that category. So if by any chance you are not an adult and still clicked on this video, go somewhere else. Please. This one isn't for you. I hear there's a new Fortnite video out. Maybe you should go watch that one instead, buddy. So with that said, let's begin today's video. So, our story starts with a girl who wears glasses. Following the classic anime stereotype, she is an introvert and is treated as a nerd by all her classmates. But then she decides to take off her glasses and, somehow, she turns into a completely different girl. And after that, she decides to make more friends and become more popular. But that's not exactly how it goes. It gets kind of messed up. But let's start from the beginning. Now, I have been hearing about Metamorphosis for a long time, and almost everyone has. I mean, even if today is the first time you have heard of Metamorphosis, you have definitely seen the first panel of this manga before. Somehow, somewhere. It's just inevitable to skip. It was that one adult manga that everyone says is messed up, and the manga that will break you mentally. The manga that will scar you for life, and the manga that will remind you of the Berserk adaptation of 2016. Okay, maybe not that much, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say. And with that much hype, this manga kind of did and didn't deliver at the same time. After reading this manga, yes, it was definitely messed up and disgusting, and the amount of hype it had, I was hoping for something more. I mean, I have seen worse crap than this, which is much worse, but that doesn't take out the fact that this manga is freaking awful. And for those who haven't read it yet, no, I'm not talking about the art style, nor the characters, or any other stuff like that. I am talking about, simply, the story. And who the hell thinks of this kind of stuff? The author literally decided to take each and every adult genre available and create a smoothie out of it. And that's one of the bigger complaints I have for the manga. It shows way too much, and I mean, let's put it on paper here. The girl is an introvert and knows nothing of the outside world. Gets a makeover, suddenly becomes pretty, and after that she immediately hooks up with a random dude, and after that she hooks up again, and again, and again. They just keep ticking the boxes. The author just wanted to include all those explicit scenes, so he decided to completely ignore the actual character development. And yes, I realize we're talking about an H manga here, so just bear with me. But that wasn't a big problem in the first place, because almost every other adult manga is like that. And the readers don't give a crap about the characters in the first place. But they decided to suddenly change that at the end of the manga, only to make us feel more disgusted with both the manga and ourselves. This manga is basically messed up for the sake of being messed up. I personally didn't feel anything for the character, even though all the stuff they showed, it's probably because her character was way too overshadowed by all those romantic scenes. And that was always bound to happen because the manga is only 225 pages long. Yes, compared to other adult mangas, that's pretty decent. But if you try to look at it even from the point of view of a normal one-shot manga, that is pretty small. This manga blew up on the internet with only this much. Just imagine what would have happened if only it was a little bit longer. If the characters were properly developed and the story was shown with just a little slower pace, this would have become the Attack on Titan of the adult genre. Well, maybe. But I'm kind of glad that it didn't go any further from what it already was. It would have become an even more horrible experience. But let's talk about the certain aspects of the manga here for a second. The manga's art style is really good, actually, if you compare it to other mangas of its genre. But if you compare it to the mainstream mangas, it's kind of average. And as for the characters, the side characters in the story are just like every other character in the adult genre. A bunch of douchebags with their stereotypical motives, and you already know what it is. But I still want to talk about one specific character, and that is the girl's father. And from just the reaction he gave after seeing the makeover of the main character, I was like, I don't like the look he just gave. I absolutely don't like his reaction. Something weird is up with him. And unfortunately, I was right. And after what he does with his own daughter, the mom comes and blames the daughter for that. The author was definitely using some kind of white powder while writing this manga, that's for sure. And YouTube, I'm talking about salt. The white powder is salt. Don't you dare demonetize this video. And talking about salt, this manga actually does something rather unique. That was the salty candies the character ate during the romantic scenes. I have never read any adult manga yet that uses that type of salty candies. And I don't want to either. Once is more than enough. Now, with all that said, if you think that this show isn't that bad, reading it once won't kill you. Stop. Do not. Just don't get into this hole. This manga is just too messed up. Reading it was just an unpleasant experience, and it was really disturbing. Mainly because you could relate it to the real world and how real it also kind of felt. But it just wasn't the worst one I've ever experienced. I've watched plenty of shows like Euphoria, and you expect me to be affected by this? Not gonna happen. But that doesn't mean this manga is not bad. It for sure is one of the most disturbing stuff I have experienced in a long time. It's almost impossible to explain the feelings you feel while reading it. It almost awakens a hidden side of you, just like the hidden power the shonen main character activates while fighting the bad guys, except it's more of a darker power. Okay, really, I'm just kidding, but seriously, this will actually mess you up. So in general, the Animan's review on this one is, don't read this. It's just awful. And I know I've been explaining that throughout the entirety of this video, and that's pretty much all I've said is that this manga is just awful. But good grief. It's one of those stuff that you just have to encounter once in your life, and just escape it, even though it's near impossible. But just try to avoid it. If you really want something edgy and crazy, I mean, just go watch Redo of a Healer if you're feeling thirsty. But for Pete's sake, and for your own sanity, don't read this. Well, that's the video for today, guys. So if you guys were able to watch it this far, please be sure to comment on what you think of Metamorphosis, or if you've read it, what your review is. Because I know some of you crapheads are still going to read it. And often, probably a lot of you have already read it. So let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We put in a lot of work to make these videos happen for you, and we'd appreciate the support. But as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.